meteorologist Chase Jones.
Well, it was a beautiful St. Patrick's Day and a perfect start to spring break, but some of those high winds are going to make their way in by tomorrow as we touch up into those 90-degree marks, and then we're going to see some cooler weather make its way in for the first day of spring as we make our way closer towards severe weather season. Now, that was a good example of what's due during a tornado, making sure you're going to the interior part of your home, finding a low area. Of course, the bathtub's going to be safe. You want to just be away from those windows. Some of those stronger storms pushing through the southeast, if not the northeastern part of the country, more is on the way. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours are inside a 50-degree spread, so definitely seeing some severe weather ingredients out there as we cool off underneath these southerly winds. But it's headed off towards the east. Another round of severe weather is headed their way, which means high winds are pushing their way into the Concho Valley. 70 in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in a combination of those lower 70s across the entire area. We're looking out for some of those 60s to start sliding their way in. 68 in Robert Lee, 72 down there in Ozona, 4 degrees across the entire Concho Valley as we make our way into a beautiful St. Patrick's Day evening. Dew points and humidity indices are still relatively dry for the second week in a row. I'm on the lookout for any moisture. You feel how humid it is out there, at least in the air. You'd think it would be sort of like a little bit more moisture out there, but it's off towards the east where they're going to see more severe weather. Now, high pressure is sticking around to the southern part of the nation. That's what's keeping a lot of these low pressure systems primarily to the northern part around the panhandle. That's where we're seeing a lot of these high winds. Now, if they were any further south, we would start to see some moisture, but unfortunately, we're seeing them primarily stick towards the northern part of the United States. Now, that was about a week of upper level pattern, and all we saw was some strong ridging off the west coast and again off the east coast, keeping a lot of these storms up near the central plains where they're expected to see more severe weather as we make our way closer towards severe weather season. Now, water vapor imagery is showing us the strong instability making its way across the Rocky Mountains. That's where we're seeing a lot of that cloud cover, but no rain off the west coast, keeping our eye on this strong circulation. Look how much moisture it's pushing up into the atmosphere. They're going to see a couple more feet of snow this late in March. Now, severe weather outlook is that snowstorm where they're seeing a whole lot more rain as a result. The next atmospheric river already taking aim at them with this low pressure system pushing over Nevada, pushing all that snow across Idaho and into Wyoming. Now, across the Rocky Mountains, they're seeing a little severe weather. We're watching those red flag alerts finally calm down, but more high winds are on the way. Now, as we look at the future cast, we're seeing that cloud cover make its way in, tracking the weather, or at least the snow across the Great Plains. Now, off the west coast, there comes the next round. So we're going to continue to see a lot of these windy conditions while everybody else sees a little bit of moisture. Now, you're going to see this graphic a lot every time we start talking about these red flag alerts. It's just showing you how strong the winds are from the northwest, and that's where we saw some of those colder temperatures this weekend. Even though we were around those 60s and those 70s, it just felt chillier than that. So tonight, down into those 50s, still going to be pretty comfortable, but we're keeping our eye on those winds. Then tomorrow, they're going to pick up around lunchtime, and I'm on the lookout for some of those hazy conditions, if not another dust storm, but those temperatures will push up into those 90s. Now, the first day of spring, at least the 21st of March, is going to be when we officially start. That's when we're going to see that 20-degree drop. Now, those winds are going to pick up, and then we're going to start warming up. I think things will calm down by the weekend towards the end of spring break in those 80s, while those overnight lows go from those 50s down to those 30s, around those freezing marks. Brian, I'm sorry. Then right back up into those 60s. Stay tuned. One more break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.